Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are MC.
Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Today from Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio, the series continues with the Royals and the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everybody. Steve Physiak, Rex Heather with you. The Royals did lose the suspended game by a final of 4-3. They made a push at the end. But here in Cleveland, Rex, it has been difficult stealing a game from the Indians. The Royals have had a rough time at Progressive Field.
The Royals can do it. They've just got to pitch and defend and get some timely hits. Sounds simple, but they haven't been able to put all that together recently consistently. The Tribe, last season, they finished strong. They won their last 10 games and they captured a wild card. They will not go easy. They've had a difficult time, the Royals have, here in this ballpark, but it's important to get an early lead, let Duffy settle in, and get it done.
And look how even the numbers are. The only difference, batting average with runners in scoring position. 210 for the Royals, over 300 for Cleveland. And the Royals have to face the red-hot Carlos Carrasco coming off a complete game shutout. We'll be right back. By Missouri Lottery. Try the new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by ATT Ubers. Find out what's possible with ATT. Call 1-800-BIG-ATT. Mobilizing your world. We come to you from Cleveland, Ohio, inside Progressive Field. The Tribe won the suspended game in 10 innings by a final of 4-3, and Ned Yost will go with a similar lineup that he showed yesterday in a win over the Detroit Tigers by a final of 5-2. Escobar going 1, Aoki 2, then Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, will bat fourth again, part of our Midwest Ford dealers starting lineup.
Okay, get the speed on, get him on top, and that middle of the order is important. Now, anytime there's a runner in scoring position, this is an urgent situation. So you don't tighten up as a hitter, you loosen up. You loosen your grip, you just try to see it and hit it. Try to keep the game as simple as possible. Hopefully they can get some early runs tonight.
And Ned Yost knows that his team, he really apparently, after that loss in the suspended game, handled it very, very well and tried to get the guys fired up for game 2 in a light manner as they still control their own destiny, as they are still, along with Oakland, the 2 wild card leaders in the American League, now a game lead over Seattle. And Carlos Carrasco is the pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, coming off a complete game shutout 2-0 over Houston in his last start.
Carrasco, last 8 starts, he's been good, and that's been since August 10th. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball since there, with just a 1.17 ERA. He's really tough. He's got a good fastball that'll average 95 miles an hour on it. He sinks that with a 2-seam, and he's got a 4-seam that stays straighter. Slider, curve, and a change. He'll mix in those pitches, although he has been using more sliders and changeups recently.
Let's go to Joel.
Well, you guys are talking about Carlos Carrasco. Started the year in the rotation, went to the bullpen, figured some things out finally for the first time in his career, and he took what he learned in the bullpen to the rotation with him, including a routine, which means he's pitching mostly out of the stretch. Now, starters usually go out, stretch out, and then warm up for at least 20 minutes, if not a little bit longer than that. But Carrasco, like a bullpen reliever, warming up quickly, he doesn't do a whole lot of that at all. He just went out to the bullpen 10 minutes ago and is already here on the field. 10 minutes before the game, he started warming up. This routine has worked for him. He is now ready to throw the first pitch.
Defensively behind him is Yan Gomes, the catcher. I want to talk about Yan Gomes. He throws out 31% of runners. He's really a good catch and throw guy. However, the Tribe is last in the American League with 113 errors. That's been something that's hurt them, but it hasn't taken them out of the race. They are still in it.
Leading things up will be Alcides Escobar. He really likes this new role. He's hitting .382 as the Royals' leadoff hitter. It's been in the middle of September to right now. Had 6 hits and 13 at-bats against the Tigers. Royals winning on Sunday 5-2, and there is strike 1. And as you saw, Carrasco can dial it up, usually 95 to 97 miles an hour with his fastball.
That's right. Righties are hitting .220 with 4 homers. Left-handers hitting .201 with just 3 homers. But when I check out Carrasco's numbers, I see an 8-5 record with a 2.65 ERA. Those are, good, great ERA, no question about that. But somebody's gotten to him. The Royals are going to have to find a way.
And there is the slider, which has been his money pitch of late. He's throwing more sliders and more changeups since working with pitching coach Mickey Callaway, who was the man who said, put him in the bullpen. Let's see how he responds. Well, he did, but Mickey was very demonstrative talking about him. He said he's better than this, and that was back when he was struggling.
Well, right now, he is on an all-time high as far as confidence goes. And, I haven't talked a lot about confidence lately, although I do bring that up because that's the extra man these players bring out there with them. You have to have it at this level or you'll get beat. So Terry Francona is telling me that this Carrasco kid, he believes he's going to shut everyone down. He doesn't think anybody can hit him. And that makes him dangerous with the stuff he's got.
And there's that slider, and a great one it is. And Escobar swings and misses and strikes out.
So therefore, a guy that's been this good, you get a runner on, you get in scoring position, it's really important that you bear down and do anything you can to get him in. That's why when you get a guy on first base, you got to move him. Fundamentally sound, you can't have any missed bunt attempts. You just got to almost play a perfect game to beat this guy.
And he is 27 years old, but the Tribe has 3 players at the age of 27 who have really blossomed this year. Corey Kluber at the age of 27 is having a tremendous year, and so is Yan Gomes, who turned 27. And he has hit 20 home runs and become their everyday catcher. Here is Nori Aoki, who got a base hit in the suspended game to drive in a run and draw the Royals to within one. Royals got the tying run in scoring position, but Omar Infante popped up. Another base hit for Nori.
Cheese and crackers. This guy is amazing. It's just not that easy, Fizz.
Well, he's only 18 for his last 32 over the last 9 games.
He's making it look like a wiffle ball league. Look at that. Fastball. First one he sees out over the plate, he just rates it. Look at the fundamental approach. Great balance waiting back like that. He's got good balance, good follow through.
And he has lifted his batting average to 285. It seems like just 2 weeks ago he was down in the 260s. And here's Lorenzo Cain, hitting .356 the last 2 weeks, including a couple of home runs. Fouled off. May have broken his bat.
Sounded suspicious to me.
We told you about Carlos Carrasco's last start. Allowed only 2 hits, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts. But more impressive was the fact that he only needed 98 pitches.
No, but what it is he's just got a really good fastball, sets up those off-speed pitches that fall out. The bottom falls out, no question about it. It starts up, it fools the hitter. Hitters are always looking for a pitch up that they can drive. And when it bottom falls out and then he sneaks one on the corners, makes him extremely difficult to figure out.
And how rare is what he achieved? 12 strikeouts and fewer than 100 pitches in a shutout. It was remarkable. Cain goes to right field, but it was curl and find the seats. Sandy Koufax is one of those, and Sandy threw a no-hitter in 1964 against the Phillies and threw less than 100 pitches. The other guy who did it as a Philly and a former Indian, Cliff Lee, when he was with the Phillies in 2011, gave up 9 hits, but threw less than 100 pitches, and all 3 struck out 12.
Okay, one thing that all 3 of those have in common is they had great stuff. That means hard fastballs and great off-speed pitches. You don't see any thumbers, any guys that are just, guys that slop the ball up there at 88 to 87. Those guys get hit. It's the power pitchers that have the dominance now. We showed you back then, but there's more power pitchers in today's game.
Guys throwing 95 to 97, and we're seeing one in Carrasco.
I don't even think young pitchers get a look if you throw 88 to 90. You better be really good. They want the power throwers.
Aoki goes, and Cain strikes out. Nori does steal second base.
17th bag. What you got to do right there. Get him in scoring position now with 2 outs, and somehow Hosmer would find a way to get it done and knock him in. Good jump. High throw. In scoring position. Hosmer hitting 284 with runners in scoring position. Overall, the Royals are hitting 269 as a team. Not a bad mark.
Now Eric Hosmer, who had a good series against the Tigers, and he rips this one just down the line. And they're saying it's a fair ball. And Hosmer will drive in Aoki to give the Royals a 1-0 lead.
It's because the first baseman, Jimenez touched it. It went foul, but he was in fair territory when it got him. Jimenez, first baseman. Hosmer got some good wood on it. He guessed right. And just glanced off his glove, went into foul territory, but because he's in fair territory, it's going to go down as a single with a stake attached. A big run.
And it was awfully important yesterday. And here is Billy Butler. And he takes strike 1, but Ned Yost said yesterday Billy's first inning RBI single was huge for the team, and I think Eric Hosmer's has the same effect, Rex, because it comes with 2 out and puts him in the lead. It lifts their momentum after they lost that first game, a suspended finish. The August 31st affair, with the Royals lost just 45 minutes ago by 1 run. Billy, though, has had tremendous success against Carrasco, but a lot of these numbers were when Carrasco was laboring early in his career, both as a starter and a reliever. His success has really been established in the second half of this season. One and two.
Just off the end. I thought I might have saw a piece of his bat flip off there. And I think Billy checked it out, made sure it's okay. Gonna have to be able to think opposite field with him. Yeah, there was something flipped off. I thought there was a little chip came off that bat.
Got good eyesight.
Well, you know, I wish I had those eyes when I was in that box, because I couldn't hit a lick. Billy's got a chance, though. 2-1 now. See if he can just shorten that swing and put it in play somewhere and find a hole.
He goes to center field. Bourne comes on. It will drop for a hit.
That's right.
So 3 hits off Carrasco. He only gave up 2 in 9 innings of that start against Houston.
First innings. You know, you're going to get him before he settles in. Joe Goldberg did a nice report after exhaustive research on Carrasco not taking much time to get loose before his game. He goes right out to the bullpen, throws some pitches, and comes out. Doesn't stretch, doesn't do hardly any of that. And now's the time to get him.
Well, the one thing that pitching coach Mickey Callaway told me, and this was months ago when they made the decision to put Carrasco in the bullpen, he said, we talked to him all the time about owning up to his talent, and he did not pitch inside. He kept on pitching away, and he said he had opponents diving over the plate. He has not come inside yet to a Royal. And there is strike 1 to Alex Gordon. And you might remember, fans, on July 29th, 2011, Carrasco gave up a grand slam to Royal Melky Cabrera for a 7-0 KC lead. Then he threw the next pitch at Billy Butler's head and was ejected for 6 games. Slow roller to the second baseman. Gordon is out, so are the Royals, but they do get the lead with a 1-0 RBI single on Eric Hosmer's base hit to right.
Oh, fundamentally sound. Haas, first pitch he saw. It's a beautiful thing.
He missed 3 starts if you include that one where he threw 1 pitch against the Yankees and then came out because of a left shoulder problem. His record 6-1 when the Royals scored 2 or more runs, and they're halfway to that.
Yes, they are. And Duffy right now, all he wants to do is just take his time, work on that breathing, control himself, and just stay within himself. Good fastball, curveball, changeup. His fastball is going to average about 93 miles an hour, we hope. And that's what Francona's sending up there to the plate.
Brantley and Santana are the two guys who have really worn out the Royals this year. So here is Danny Duffy. And his first pitch right there for strike one. As Dave Island said, one of the things that he really wanted to watch is Danny Duffy, a very passionate player. He wanted to see how he would be as far as his adrenaline, a repeat of his arm slot.
Yep, that's important. And to not overthrow.
Cleveland has won 5 of their last 6.
Bourne 0 for 5 off of Duffy in his career.
In that simulated game he had earlier this week, Dave Island said he had an exceptional curveball.
That one?
Well, no, an exceptional curveball in the simulated game, but you wonder if adrenaline is involved now, why he would be so wild with the last 2 pitches.
Early, he's got to just settle in. He overthrew it. It didn't get the maximum break. But you're right, in that simulated game, Eric Kratz hit him along with Giavotella and 2 or 3 other guys. And I talked to Eric Kratz. I said, what did you see from Duffy? And he said that he saw a great fastball, and he told me the best pitch he saw out of his 3 was his breaking ball. So his breaking ball was good. And now he's just got to take his time and find it here. Use that fastball.
And Bourne takes it for ball 4. Well, he threw a first pitch strike, but the next 4 very wide. And so Danny will try and knuckle down here. And Salvador came out, and I don't even think had a word. He just came out, patted him on the back, and ran back towards home plate.
Defensively, by the Royals, Salvador Perez behind the plate's thrown out 28.9% of runners this year. We all know he's a good catch and throw guy, but that defense is going to have to tighten up. They've made 32 errors in their last 28 games, 10 on the last homestand. So yips or not, you better just find a way to make the plays.
Now here is Jose Ramirez to face Duffy. Very talented rookie shortstop. Bourne is always a threat to go. He has 10 stolen bases this year, but he's had hamstring problems all year long. Twice he's been on the disabled list because of a left hamstring problem, and that's why Michael Bourne, one of the great base stealers, only limited to 10 this year, and he's been thrown out 6 times.
Duffy's got a step-off move. It'll pull those runners a little bit closer. But right now, he needs to just concentrate on finding his mechanics. It's a little bit off. Throw that fastball in there. Keep it about knee-high. Use the defense until you can get that breaking ball working.
Bourne does not go, and the pitch is wide to left field for a hit. 2 on, nobody out, first inning. They traded Asdrubal Cabrera to the Washington Nationals because they believe in this kid Ramirez.
See a good shot of a downhill angle there. He executed the pitch. It was out over the plate, but didn't hit it at him. Got some good wood on it.
Now the ridiculously hot Michael Brantley, who's batting .442 his last 10 games. And he is having a tremendous season. You see those numbers. Batting average, home runs, RBIs, all career highs. Well, and if Danny lets it go, it would have been a double play. Instead, the bases are loaded. That ball was headed directly at Alcides Escobar.
We saw Danny Duffy earlier this season after his 3rd or 4th start trying to catch balls back up the middle on him, and recently he'd been pretty well letting those balls go, but that would have been a nice little 2-hopper candy double play. Little rough beginning here for Duffy. It's up to him to just keep his composure. Don't panic. Trust the defense.
Now the most feared hitter in their lineup, Carlos Santana. You see his tremendous numbers against the Royals this year. He pops it up on the first pitch. Shallow center. Infante with the catch. Bourne does not go. And that is a huge out.
Hey, both third and fourth hitters, Brantley and Santana, swinging at Duffy's first pitch. They knew fastball was coming. They're guessing. Fortunately, Santana missed it. 95. The velocity looks good.
Bourne walked. Ramirez singled. Brantley reached on an infield hit. This inning would be over if Duffy would have let it go. Instead, we'll face Yan Gomes with one out.
It's all right. He can put Gomes in the lane. Yan Gomes is grounded into 13 double plays.
Strike one with the fastball.
Duffy has induced 7 ground ball double plays this season. That's what he wants here.
Another strike by Danny.
There it is.
And the count now 0-2, so he's shown him a fastball and then the off-speed pitch. He is 5 for 10 against the Royals left-hander.
Good breaking ball coming in on the outer half of the plate. Good location. Salvi's sitting away. You want to keep it out of this guy's wheelhouse. He's got some pop. You want to give up any mistakes right here, especially. Now you got him ahead. Trust Salvi. Good Francona with all those scenarios, all those numbers up there.
And Terry tapes all of them up himself. You see him an hour before the game taping all of those charts up. Gomes again fouls it off as Danny came back with the breaking ball.
It's good to see Duffy getting himself back together and regrouping. Executing some good pitches now.
I tell you, he's always been so tough to hit. He was in a great rhythm on the season. Opponents batting .201.
That's tied for second lowest among AL pitchers.
Curveball in there, strike 3 call. I wasn't sure if it'd get the high strike call from home plate umpire Lance Barrett, but he did, Hud.
Way too close to take with the bases full. Duffy pitching now. That's a high curveball. Ooh, man, you got a hack or they'll send you back on that. Good location, good spot. Thought it was up. Duffy maneuvering his way after the bases loaded and nobody out.
Now the former Royal Mike Aviles. He'll take strike 1. Aviles in there because he hits left-handers very well. Was with the Royals from 2003 to 2011, their rookie of the year. 2008 when he hit .325. Didn't mean to do it, but had an awful swing, and he now is down in the count 0-2. Those are his career numbers against lefties. Stayed with the fastball at 96 miles an hour.
He's having a hard time last 2 pitches on that fastball. See if they stay with it.
He struck out Gomes on the high curve looking. Danny has way more options than does Aviles with an 0-2 count.
You don't want to put anything down the middle, that's for sure, but you don't want to speed his bat up either with an off-speed pitch.
Struck him out. Oh, he just did get a piece of it. I beg your pardon. It was a tremendous breaking ball down and in.
That's right.
And I thought Salvi just did get under his glove.
Yeah, no, Salvi had that target down low. He wants to keep it out of the zone. 0-2.
After him with the high heat.
That's a good spot. See Salvador coming up. That's good. Now he changes that eye level. That's not in the middle of the plate. That's a waste pitch. Unfortunately, he didn't miss. We've seen catchers come up out of their crouch like that, and the pitcher throw one right down the middle. So Duffy's missing 1 pitch here. Get out of it.
Aviles has faced Danny 9 times, has 2 hits. He's also struck out 3 times. Got him to chase it and barely did foul it off as he really pulled the string on that curveball. Getting the mic way out in front and barely got a piece of it, so Salvador will get together and talk about what.
Just making sure that he doesn't leave anything out over the middle of the plate. Now, though, that pitch there, it's perfectly located. If you throw that over the middle of the plate, though, he's going to guide it out there. He's going to make some contact. Salvi's probably saying, let's go back to the fastball away and see if we can get it. 7 pitches.
Number 8 on the way. Does not want to go 3-2, so an awfully important pitch here. In the air, right field. Aoki drifting back to make the catch. So what a job by Danny Duffy. Loads the bases, nobody out, then gets a pop-up, a strikeout, and a flyout from Mike Aviles.
Way to regroup. Nice job. Confidence builder.
Royals with a 1-0 lead, and Danny Duffy did a terrific job bouncing back from being out since early September to get out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation without a run scoring. Now Carrasco dots the outside corner with Salvi for strike one. Perez has seen his average drop to 260. This year only batting .219 against Cleveland. Flips that one to center field, and it will drop in front of Michael Bourne, so the leadoff man is on. That's 4 hits off Carrasco. And Rex, after losing the first 2 games against the Tigers, the Royals really needed a well-pitched game against the Tigers on Sunday, and that man, Jeremy Guthrie, gave it to him. But we're getting familiar with that when the Royals are facing a sweep, and that's why he is our Kansas City Honda dealers' most trusted pitcher. Look at these numbers. When Jeremy Guthrie is trying to avoid a sweep by Kansas City, he has a 1.78 ERA.
Got the ground ball double play, but Guthrie, talking to him before the game today, I said, did the 2 extra days of rest help you that much? And he said, yeah, I had a little bit more movement on my 2-seam fastball, a little more action. And there's the numbers there, 3-0 with that 1.78 ERA in 5 starts. I'm telling you, since they were facing a sweep, he has turned into a guy you want out there.
Great veteran, tremendous leadership in the clubhouse as well. There's Omar Infante. He made the final out of our suspended game. Dyson at second base. Infante popped it up, and the Royals lost the suspended game 4-3 in 10 innings. So they are now 84-71. The Tribe 82-74.
Ned had options if he wanted to pinch hit, but I agreed with him. Keep Infante in there. He's got a career high 64 RBIs. He's got a short, compact swing. Just looked like he looped it a little bit, and that only at bat he got.
Omar 1 for 3 yesterday for Ned Yost with a walk. He also scored a couple of runs. Popped up. Taken by the second baseman, Mike Aviles. Aviles came up as a shortstop, but now he plays just about everywhere. Ramirez, their new shortstop after Asdrubal Cabrera, who had been here for a number of years, was traded to the Washington Nationals, and the Nationals starting Cabrera as their second baseman.
Kipnis has had some leg problems. He's not in there.
And you've got Danny Duffy, who has really been tough on left-handers this year, so that's why Francona going with Aviles in second base. Who's got the base hit to start the 10th inning rally. The Royals would pinch run Terrence Gore for him, who would come around and score after he stole second base, and Nori Aoki knocked him in.
Who's
3-0 count.
Who's just looking for his first hit off of Carrasco? 0 for 6.
And Mike has had tremendous success against Cleveland, and particularly in this ballpark. Outside ball 4, and you wonder if that's their concern, that Moustakas, who has belted 4 home runs at Progressive this year in just 6 games. Very careful with Moustakas, and 2 on with 1 out. And hey, fans, it's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T.
Yeah, they're a little bit nervous about Moose, and they should be. Against the Tribe, he's had 6 homers, 3 doubles, 12 RBIs, and 12 runs scored. 611 slugging percentage, so they walked him.
Way inside. And Rex Alcides Escobar with 10 hits in his last 5 games. You and I were talking with hitting instructor Dale Swain before the game, and I said, why is he being so aggressive and really driving the ball now, even to left field? And he said it's his hand position.
Yeah, you know, his hands are in a comfortable spot. You got to be comfortable before the pitch comes. It's all about being relaxed and being comfortable, and your hands have to be in a good position to where you can strike the ball. Sometimes guys start their hands up a little higher and maybe a little bit lower, but when that pitch is on the way, everyone's hands are at the same place. You have to be able to be comfortable.
And he's been better in the clutch. 385 since August 17th with runners in scoring position. See Perez. Strike. A 1-1 count.
Escobar's been pulling the ball too lately, which is good, especially early in the count. He's looking for pitches he can drive, like that one there, but he chose to take it.
Right back up the middle. They get one and scooped nicely by Jimenez for the inning-ending double play. Question of the day: which starting pitcher has the best chance to win the American League Cy Young Award? Felix Hernandez, Corey Kluber, John Lester, or Chris Sale? Text ABC D 432-432. But Corey Kluber, what a year he is having. He had another huge strikeout game yesterday. I mean, the Cleveland staff has set a franchise record with 6 straight games posting 12 or more strikeouts. Kluber won his 17th game. 7-2 over Minnesota and struck out 14.
There have been some relievers that have been Cy Young, but it's very rare. We got a couple guys that are pretty good. Eric Gagne was the last. That was in 2003. He was the last reliever that got that award.
Here is Lonnie Chisenhall. Rare left-hander in the game against Duffy, and Duffy has been basically knocking out lefties right and left. They're only hitting 129 against him.
See Salvi pointing to his shoulder. Salvi's shoulder, saying, keep that shoulder in. Keep it in. Don't let it fly open. Just saw Chisenhall take a peek at Moose.
Just barely misses in. So he's fallen behind the leadoff batter, 3-1. Danny overthrows another fastball. And much like the first, he walks the leadoff batter. He's making life difficult on himself. The Toyota League leaders, as we take a look at road ERA, the Royals with a 3.13 earned run average, and it is outstanding. That's not only the lowest in the major leagues, it would also be the lowest in franchise history, which was 3.25 last year. They set the mark. Danny on the road has been terrific.
He's been awesome, especially on the road. Glad to see him rebound from that first inning. Bases loaded, no outs, and wiggled his way out of it.
The batter is Chris Jimenez. Danny just needs to throw a strike. This was a guy who was acquired from the Texas Rangers on August 23rd, and he has had a difficult time getting base hits against Kansas City. Just 3 for 33 against Royal pitching.
He had a nice pick in that last play, though, that double play. That if he misses it, Royals score there.
Danny can't throw a strike. Jimenez takes a swing, breaks his bat, pops it up, and Escobar is there for the first out. Fans, mark your calendars and don't miss the 2015 Royals Fan Fest presented by Commerce Bank on Friday, January 30th and Saturday, January 31st at Barton Hall. Bring the entire family for an interactive Royals baseball experience with player autograph sessions, slugger appearances, Royals merchandise, activities, and much more. Tickets are on sale now at royals.com/fanfest. That is always a great time. Bartle Hall again, January 30th and 31st. Now Tyler Holt. Ball one. He was a July 6th call-up. The reason they have him in the lineup, he was able to have tremendous success against left-handers in the minor leagues, hitting .384.
Duffy gonna have to find a way to get some early strikes. Get ahead of these hitters and gets them off it now. A 2-0 pitch to his last guy, Jimenez. Ball's down the middle. You look for trouble when you're falling behind.
There's a strike, and it's 2-1 because you really want to stay away from the top of their order. Yesterday, the Cleveland 1 through 4 batters were 10 for 17. Scored 5 runs, drove in 4. Back in the count at 2-2.
Holt has a little bit of a long swing for the kind of hitter he is. He's a good speed guy, can really run, steal some bases. He had some combined numbers this year between AA Akron and Columbus, where he was able to steal 31 bags in 37 attempts. Only 2 home runs, 30 ribbies. So he's not a run producer. He's more of a catalyst type player.
Well, Danny strikes him out. A beautiful breaking ball that Hull had no chance on, and that is strikeout number 2 for Duff.
That had some beautiful bite to it. Like Eric Kratz was saying, he faced him last week in that simulated game. He said that pitch right there, you couldn't hit that with a boat oar. That's a beauty. That thing probably broke 2 feet. Maybe 3.
Now Michael Bourne, who walked to start the first inning. The next 2 batters would come up with singles. Indians would load the bases in the first inning, but Santana popped up. Gomes struck out looking, and Aviles flied out after a long duel with Duffy for the final out of the first. Chisenhall, not that much of a threat to go. He only has 2 steals this year.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to use that step-off move on him. I'm going to wait until Brantley gets out there or a base stealer.
Ball 1 strike.
They all know he has that step-off move. Well, sometimes you want to save that. Save it for an important situation in the game.
Outside corner at the knees. Rex, 3 lefties in the lineup by Terry Francona. Danny, we told you 129 batting average against. Why is it so tough on lefties to pick him up?
Well, it's every lefty that faces a left-handed pitcher, ball's going away from you. It's pretty simple, Fizz, and it's really hard to square guys up with good hard stuff like that. Look at that. Now, that stayed up in the zone.
That's the second lefty with a base hit in this game as Brantley got the one that glanced off of Duffy's glove.
It's hard to keep your shoulder in on guys that throw hard like that and have breaking balls that go away from you. But these guys, these left-handers you're talking about, those are staples in Francona's lineup. You're not going to sit those guys off lefties just because Duffy's got a great average against him. See how he stopped himself with his front foot? That's a good balance, though. He saw that was a hanging breaking ball, and he's used his front foot right here to hold his momentum back. That's a nice hit on a hanger.
Ramirez single to left his first time. Chisenhall second, Bourne first. Good block by Salvador Perez. Ball, 1 strike.
Royals have good arms in the outfield. We all know that. Most third base coaches on a base hit to left field against the Royals will not send a runner home with Alex Gordon in left field. It's the reason why he's been stuck on 7 outfield assists for quite a while. They just don't run on him anymore. Smart.
Back up the middle, but it glances to Infante, who has time to throw out Ramirez, and that will do it for the Tribe in the second inning. Play goes 1-4-3, but Duffy leaves 2 more as Cleveland has left 5 in the first 2 innings.
The Indians, and take a look at our Mazda game break for those of you just joining us. The completion of that August 31st suspended game, Scott Atchison came out. Mike Moustakas led things off with a blue pit. Nori Aoki had an RBI. Terrence Gore, who was running for Moose, scored. Gerard Dyson, he came in as a pinch runner, got to second. They had a runner in scoring position, but Omar Infante popped up. So the Royals officially finished their home schedule here on the road. That was really, guys, a very bizarre set of circumstances. This is good news as the White Sox right now leading the Tigers. But so strange sitting down there on the field before the broadcast started with you two, and we're used to seeing a starting pitcher walk out to the bullpen. Well, that pitcher walking out by himself was Greg Holland, who oftentimes doesn't even go down to the bullpen until the middle of the game. That was very strange to see. And then suddenly the guys started playing. Not a whole lot of fans here in the house. Very unique circumstances, perhaps best described by Vahe Gregorian, the columnist of the Kansas City Star, who joined us on Hy-Vee Royals Live, who described it, that game, that completion, as a little bit like speed dating.
Here is Nori Aoki, Joel, to lead things off for the Royals against Carlos Carrasco, but it reminded me of the Pine Tar game when Dan Quisenberry got the start to finish that, and Bud Black said it's the only time he's seen Dan Quisenberry nervous, because he knew that he was going to begin a game rather than not know when he was coming in, whether it be the 7th, 8th, or 9th, and Nori goes to center field with a line drive, but it stays up for Bourne.
Another solid at bat by Aoki. Great contact. He's hot.
Center fielder Lorenzo Cain.
The Royals with 1 run on 4 hits, and Carrasco has been tough to square up of late. We told you about that terrific performance he had, his first career shutout of Houston. His last start, 2 hits allowed, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts. He's already walked 1 and given up 4 in this one. Here is Cain. Strike 1. Royals with 7 to go. 3 with these Indians. And then 4 with the Chicago White Sox. Detroit has 7 to go. 3 with the White Sox. 4 with Minnesota. Joel showed you that Tigers score. They're trailing the Sox 2-0 with Bassett matching up against Lobstein. We should also talk about Oakland and Seattle, because they're also in that wild card chase with Kansas City, and Carrasco makes quick work of Cain, striking him out on 3 pitches.
Yep, slider working now for Carrasco. Those pitches are really tough to square up. They look like they're borderline. They are going to be hittable, then it breaks out of the zone. Good spots. That's what that pitch is designed to do. Keep it just off the plate where it's a ball. It's not hittable, but it looks good to the hitter.
Now Hosmer, who singled to right field, driving in the only run of the game, and he takes strike 1. Oakland has 7 left. 3 with the Angels and 4 at Texas. Seattle has 4 at Toronto, and Toronto has been really struggling of late, and then they have finish up with 3 against the Angels.
It's a hard slider at 90. Average velocity on that pitch is about 87, so he put a little bit more on that. Really good depth to it.
So he throws it again and strikes him out. And he now has 4 in the ball game. And Carrasco really had the most impressive inning of the night. Is the year they get back to the postseason in nonstop action, heart-pounding excitement, historic performances. Don't miss the 2014 postseason beginning September 30th. Royals can control their own destiny. They are tied with Oakland. Oakland does have a full game edge now because the Royals lost that suspended game. And Seattle now 1 game back. But the central lead is now 2 for Detroit. Detroit, though, losing to the White Sox that game early 2-0. Here it's 1-0 KC. Duffy's got to find his command. He's thrown a lot of pitches in the first 2 innings. 0-1. Brantley with a 13-game hit streak, and how hot has he been? .460 average with 2 home runs. This is a guy who has gotten better every single year. Goes to left field. Gordon there.
Got a man there.
1 out. Rex, you were talking about Danny and Salvador Perez helping him out. We saw Salvi run out. Not even say a word. Pat him on the back in an earlier inning. And I was talking with Danny about his friendship with Salvi, and he said, you know, Salvi's been catching me since both of us were 18 years old. And he said, in the minors, we grew up together, and he said he is a best friend, and he knows me, and he knows what's working, what's not working. And as you talked about, he immediately pointed to the front shoulder when he was opening up too soon.
Yep. Biggest thing Duffy told me about Salvi when they worked together was just Salvi would tell him, be simple and be happy.
That's good advice.
Yeah, just keep it even keel. Use your tremendous stuff.
Sent foul.
Santana really loads up. I mean, he gathers. Watch this front leg here, how it loads. See that? That's a flamingo kick. Gets his hips turned, and then when he comes out, ooh man, he's got a swing. Now it's a little long at times, but he's got a powerful stroke from both sides of the plate.
Rex, I was watching that side shot, and even though there's a lot of movement with his legs, his hand position was very still throughout, and so was his head.
Yeah, it's very important to keep those things. Those are the two things, your head and your hands. And of course, I just showed you the lower body, how important that is to be able to use that lower half to load up for power, especially for him. Some hitters are a little bit different.
Well, that is belted down the left field line. Now, Gordon's going to try and play it for a single, and Santana puts the brakes on finally. Realizes he had no chance and would have been thrown out by 10 to 15 feet by Gordon.
Too bad he didn't keep going.
Boy, Alex played it perfectly with his bare hand off the wall.
Yeah, 325 with that padded wall out there. Ball kicked off nicely to him. And he's running hard out of the box because he knows who's in left field. He wants to get that double, but the ball kicked right back to him. And I think that Infante had a play at first base on him had he just turned and fired it. But playing it safe, keeping the double play in order. That's what Alex does.
Here is Yan Gomes. Strike one.
Here's another shot of him here. Now you got a little back leg for leverage, a little stiff. He's got some pretty good action. He's got a nice little balance there. And I told you the swing, but look at the head. The head never moved. When your head moves, so does the ball. Your eyes move, and that makes the ball move. So you don't see it as crisp.
Hit high in the air to left. Gordon back near the wall, makes the catch. Santana, who is already at second base, retreats to first, and 2 out.
Got it in on him a little. He couldn't get that on the sweet part of the bat. Jammed him.
Second baseman, Mike Avila.
Still pretty strong in you get jammed to hit a ball all the way to the wall.
But you get the feeling that Danny is shutting them out on stuff right now, that he does not have his sharp command. He's left some breaking balls up, but he's been fortunate to keep them high and out of the zone. And going after the first pitch is Aviles, and he'll hit it to center, and Kane is there, and he'll make the catch. So Duffy with 3 shutout innings, the Royals hold a 1-0 lead going to number 4.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from it. Go ahead, Duff.
We'll get ready for more Carlos Carrasco and Billy Butler. Fizz talked about it before, the history between these guys following that Melky Cabrera home run, and then Billy Butler talked about his home run and getting hit by that pitch. And I was talking to Billy about this a little bit today. He said, look, I knew I was going to get hit. You just can't go for the head. He said that is ancient history. He's much more concerned now with going up against one of the hotter pitchers in baseball. But Fizz and Hud, their history goes back before then. He said he really got his first good look at Carlos Carrasco in 2006 when Carrasco pitched in the Philadelphia organization in the Futures game. And it was the U.S. team that had guys like Billy Butler and Alex Gordon. The world team had pitchers like Carlos Carrasco and guys like Joey Votto from Canada. Well, there's Billy Butler. This one is got a shot. But Michael Bourne is there to track it down. But a lot of history between these guys. And Billy was 8 for 18, now 8 for 19 in his career.
And obviously he got suspended for that game 6 games, but he did it again, Joel, the next year. Now you see Butler getting a hold of that high fastball and almost knocking it off the wall.
Good running catch by Michael Bourne. Billy, just a little bit more. You kick that off that big tall wall there, it's going to kick. Billy would have got a double, maybe more. But it's important on balls hit in that direction in center field that the left fielder and right fielders back him up.
Gordon goes after the first pitch.
Just missed that one too.
Brantley will make the catch. Rex, just to finish that story on Carlos Carrasco, the very next year after that incident with Billy Butler, he did the same thing to the Yankees in April. After a Robinson Cano home run, he came inside and hit Kevin Youkilis and was suspended 7 games. And after that, they said he was very tentative of pitching inside. And Mickey Callaway told him this year, you've got to get inside to open up the outer part of the plate.
We talk about the importance of that all the time. He's going to figure it out. He's only hit 3 batters so far this year.
Here is Salvador, who takes it high and tight. There's a slider that did not bite down. Carrasco with a fastball, slider, change, and curve. One ball, one strike.
This is the first one I've seen in a while that's straight. He's got a lot of movement on his pitches. But the Royals, this inning here, Billy just missed one, and so did Alex. Opposite field. It'd be nice to see him go deep that way.
There's that great sweeping slider at 81.
Swing at it once, you'll swing at it again. That's what they're going to try to throw him.
Carrasco, he's got the slider working. He has 5 strikeouts in 4 innings. Your Midwest Ford dealers at yourmidwestforddealers.com. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery with you at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Royals lead 1-0 on a Hosmer RBI single that knocked in Nori Aoki in the first. Danny Duffy has struggled a bit, throwing a lot of pitches, was in a bases loaded, nobody out jam in the first and got out of it. He has stranded 6 in 3 innings. They'll face Chisenhall, Jimenez, and Holt. This has been Lonnie's breakout season. He had remarkable numbers early. I mean, he was up hitting .380. And he was the guy who got the key hit August 31st in the game that would be suspended.
Yeah, off of Holland. Looked like a slider. He got up underneath. Hit it off the top of the wall. A couple of big runs there across the plate.
And that was right after Alex Gordon had homered to tie it, and that ball just barely fouled down the line. 0-2.
When Chisenhall got to second base after getting that big hit, it was interesting to see his little thing that he did back to the dugout. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Well, he's driving. He's steering the bus. He's making fun of some of our signs that were out there this year. That's what that looked like to me. But it was a big hit.
Well, so Danny Duffy says, take that. He's driving the bus. You know what? My mom told me a long time ago, if you're ahead, shut up and stay there. Words from the wise.
There were times when you got ahead.
Occasionally, you know, I had the lead with you in that chess game once, and then you knocked out my king.
That'll work.
So Jimenez has popped up twice, and Danny Duffy has retired 4 straight. Hopefully he's getting his rhythm, because he had thrown an average of about 21, 22 pitches in the first 2 innings. Now he's got 2 quick outs here in the 4th.
Dave Island taking a couple of deep breaths for Danny. 2 outs. Young left-hander's doing a nice job, though. He's battling.
Rex, Danny told me that Dave Island has done a wonderful job, and he said he got my mind where it needed to be. What was he talking about?
Simplifying, keeping it easy, keep your passion that you have inside, and then let it out once you leave that mound and walk back to the dugout. Kind of like James Shields does.
One ball, 1 strike to Holt.
Dave Island's big thing in the 3 years he's been here is don't try to create something that you don't have. Don't try to be better than you are. You're already good enough. When you try too hard, sometimes you leave the ball out over the plate and you get whacked.
And Dave really felt that Danny was better, particularly with his command at 92 to 94, than he was at 97.
Well, that's the progression, the way young pitchers come into the game. It takes time. You have to learn that. You know, these guys that throw hard, Duffy, some of these hard throwers, early in their careers, they want to blow it by people. Well, look up on that radar gun that's shown now in every ballpark. They have a miles per hour read. You know, after pitchers don't glance up there and look when you're young, but you get together with a good pitching coach and you have some veteran pitchers around you that are always counseling you and helping you. You learn how to stay within yourself.
That's a strike, and Holt, the rookie, threw the bat away, and now has come back. And I don't think the home plate umpire Lance Barrett appreciated that. Got to wait for the big guy's call.
Good fastball down low. Do it again. I'm going to challenge this guy. Chances of him hitting the ball out of the ballpark aren't very great, so just challenge him here.
So if it's close, he better be swinging, because I don't think Barrett's going to be taking it. Out of play. Salvi set up right down the middle that time, challenging young Tyler Holt. Coming after him with the fastball. Knocked to Hosmer, and it's just by his reach. And that's a base hit for Tyler Holt.
It's all right. Better that you make him earn it than walk it. Fastball outer half of the plate. It looked like it could have been ball 4. Talked about the speed he's got. It would have been really tough for Duffy to be able to cover if Hosmer didn't make that catch anyway.
Now Michael Bourne, who's been on twice with a walk and a single. That base hit by Mike was the first hit he's ever had off of Danny Duffy. We understand that Toronto has received some help from a former Royal, Danny Valencia. Got a big base hit to drive in 3, and the Blue Jays have a 4-1 lead on Seattle. Seattle chasing the Royals, and it's now 7-1. So the Blue Jays beginning to pour it on Seattle, and James Paxton was throwing for the Mariners in that game against Jay Happ.
Step off move, almost got Holt. Previous pitch, Duffy used his slide step and didn't affect him. He threw a nice breaking ball.
Ball in the dirt, gets away, but no advance by Holt. Those 3 wild card leaders in the American League, the 3 teams right now at the very top: Oakland, Kansas City, and Seattle.
Okay, Michael,
All 3 have been struggling a bit.
Board tried to call timeout. See, when you step out like that, you better wait till he grants you time, and that's too late. You can't. Too bad that wasn't a pitch over the middle. He would have gotten a free pitch there.
Two and one.
Okay, Danny's varying his delivery. A couple of slide steps. That time he picked his leg all the way up. This is good for a guy who's trying to steal a base. He's 2 for 3 as Holt in the big leagues.
They've got it picked off. Hosmer with the throw, little wide, but they get Tyler Holt at second base, and that will end the Cleveland 4th.
Nice adjustment by Escobar. Hosmer always has a good arm. He showed it there.
And Terry Francona says they did get him, so he is not going to challenge, and we will go to commercial break with the Royals leading the Cleveland Indians 1-0.
Nice for Escobar. Ooh, close.
The city welcomes the St. Louis Blues to Sprint Center on September 27th as they play the Dallas Stars. This is your chance to see NHL action as the Blues take the ice here in KC. Now, Blues games are on Fox Sports Kansas City all season long. You can buy tickets to see them live at sprintcenter.com or visit stlblues.com for Blues ticket options. Carlos Carrasco's really settled down after struggling his first 2 innings. As we retired 7 straight since the walk to Mike Moustakas, who will bat second in this inning.
We got a chess match going on in this game. Strong pitching.
Infante popped up to second his first time. That breaking ball has been terrific. It was the curve. And he has the sharp slider at 89 to 91 miles an hour, and his fastball has been 95 to 97. He's completely going away from the fastball just because his curve and slider are so difficult to hit.
Since returning to the rotation on August 10th, he's used more sliders and changeups than he did before.
And he has the second lowest ERA in all of baseball since that time, Hud, a 1.17 ERA. And Infante then picks on a hanging slider.
Go!
And Infante bangs it to left, and he will cruise into second base with a leadoff double.
Nice. It's a ball that was left out over the plate. Like an off-speed pitch because Infante was out in front of it, but he's able to guide it down that line. He got a slow start out of the batter's box, and Brantley is an excellent thrower. He's got 12 outfield assists this year. And Infante is able to get out there. Lead-off double. Phantom Cam. See how he recognized that pitch, gets it out in front, way out in front of home plate to pull that ball. And it was elevated.
This is where the Royals really want to do a good job with runners in scoring position, and then Carrasco drops that 89-mile-an-hour slider to Moose for strike one. The first 2 games, both losses to Detroit. The Royals were only 2 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Then they got the big hit yesterday from Aoki in the 4th, a triple that broke the tie, and that's a productive out by Moose. Pulled it to the right side of the ground, and that gets Infante to third. The most popular way to follow the Royals' push to the postseason is with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get At Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com.
If you're a baseball fan, you got to have that. It's awesome. You can pick up anything you want. You can pick up broadcasters' feeds. You can do TV, radio, whatever you want to listen to.
Now, do you think the Royals might put something on with Escobar?
Oh, yeah, they're going to put the hit sign on him and get him a hit. Maybe get up underneath one. Now, if you're talking about a squeeze,
like a safety squeeze.
Well, we haven't seen that much this year. I don't know if Ned would do it. I mean, you got the right guys out there. You got to have a guy that can handle the bat. And then Infante, if you're going to do a squeeze, you got to take off when that pitcher lets go of the ball, and then trust that that hitter can get the bunt down.
Look at that great backup slider. Usually that slider breaks down and away from a right-handed batter, but that backed up on the inside corner to Esky. So the infield is in, but not all the way on the edge of the infield grass.
Got to have the contact play on. What that is on contact. Infante's got to get his best lead he can over there at third base. Chisenhall, you get as much on your initial lead as the third baseman will give you. So you get as big a lead as the third baseman is off the bat. And then you got to make sure you come down on that right foot so you can have some forward lean coming home.
Esky just barely stayed alive on another hard slider from Carrasco.
It's important you go 1, 2, 3 with your footwork, or you shuffle like Infante. But you see when that ball crossed the plate, Infante was leaning on his front foot, and that's going to give him an extra edge coming home on contact.
Escobar 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out swinging first time.
But with Aoki on, they may not have the contact play on.
Oh, yeah. And it skips by Ramirez. Infante will score the Royals' second run.
Yeah, with Aoki as hot as he is, I didn't think they were going to do the contact play because he's so hot they'll knock him in. But that play there, that was a butcher job. That play, you got to get in front of that.
Right fielder, Orioles.
He kind of backhanded it. It was a ball he's tried to time and use his glove, but he had time to get himself in front of it and knock the ball down, keep it in front because Infante was not coming home on contact. That's going to be a base hit.
RBI number 50 for Escobar. Royals take the 2-0 lead, and we told you when Danny Duffy, his team scores 2 or more runs, he's got a great record. There's strike 1 to Aoki. Danny is 6-1 when the team scores 2 runs or more. He's 1-9 when they obviously when they score 0 or 1, but he's received very little run support this year. 1 run of support or 0 runs in 14 games. Well, Danny, you've got your 2. See if the Royals will steal Escobar.
Jose Ramirez had that play to do over again at shortstop. He might have played that a little differently. He had time. He was trying to measure it up with his backhand. He was concentrating, but you never know how that ball's going to bounce when it's 2 feet in front of you.
He is still 21. And again, they're worried about Escobar. But you love that productive out, Rex. The fact that Mike Moustakas got Infante from second to third, where ball shot by Escobar could.
That's exactly what we talked about before the game. You almost have to play a perfect game to beat Carrasco, as hot as he's been lately. And so far, they're executing. They're doing the things they need to do. I was going to say, give that RBI to Moose. Get that runner over.
Royals have done a nice job on the road this year. The 5th best road record in the major leagues at 42-32.
Pretty simple. You play the game the right way, especially the way the Royals play it. You stay hot and you finish strong this week, and they're going to get to postseason. Stay confident. Take it one game, one pitch at a time.
Escobar with 31 stolen bases this year.
See how Escobar's looking in to this catcher?
Aoki flips it towards right. Holt is there, and Escobar must stay put at first base.
Lorenzo Cain coming into this game sitting at 299. Now I know that he desperately wants to hit 300, and that's nice that you can say you hit 300 in a year. But Carrasco's been tough on him. He struck him out the first 2 times. Look at these pitches too. Might just
all
be
sliders.
Yeah, it might just be he's going to have to just take some of those. Be a little less aggressive. Sure do hope he can hit 300. It's going to be close.
Rex, you always hear a hitter say, I always look fastball and adjust to breaking ball. Was there ever a time in your career where you said, I am going to look for his breaking ball? I'm sure it's coming.
Oh, for sure you do. When you know for sure, you know that it's coming against a certain pitcher who has those type of tendencies. But heck, for me, I was just happy to get in the game.
Well, okay, give me an example where you were looking. Was it like a Jamie Moyer changeup?
Absolutely. Tom Glavine, Jamie Moyer, all those guys that love their changeup. You just did belly up to the plate. I wouldn't even swing at any of his fastballs. I would look for those off-speed stuff. And
good news with Toronto leading Seattle now 9-1. We told you after the suspended game lost by Kansas City, Seattle was within 1. they are getting pounded, and the Mariners have been reeling, and so have the Oakland A's. The Royals, they want a ticket to the show. This time Kane is taking a couple of those breaking balls.
I'm sure that Dale Swaim helped him out there a little bit. Said, hey, look, now he's making some good pitches, but you're making him look even better by swinging at him. Wait for that one down the middle. It's hard for a right-handed batter to sit on a slider from a righty, especially at that velocity. It's not like he has a big loop and curve. That's a pickoff move there, that sign he just gave. And earlier I was talking about Escobar. You get a little 2 steps off, you peek into the catcher, and sometimes you see more than one finger wiggling between his legs. That means it's a breaking ball, a good pitch to go on. Some catchers will let you see the signs. They don't do it on purpose, but you can always peek.
And there is a gapper to right, but Holt dives and makes a fine catch for Cleveland, and that takes a run away from the Royals, but they do get one on Infante's double, Moustakas ground out, and Escobar's single. And tomorrow we've got another young gun. Yordano Ventura matching up against Danny Salazar. Both are pitching very, very well. And Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler, now joined by Jeff Montgomery, Hall of Fame Royals pitcher. With KC up 2-0. And Monty, just want to get your thoughts on Danny early. But remember, he missed 3 starts if you include the Yankee game where he threw the 1 pitch and then came out.
Right, he's doing something very difficult to do. It does come back and be sharp first time out after missing such a long time. You can work all you want in the bullpen, simulated games. You can really improve and have a good chance. Oh, nice to see that first batter out. But still, you got to get in game action. You got to get to the adrenaline. You got to get all those things. And I think that's one thing Danny maybe struggled with a little bit early tonight, was trying to maintain that, that excitement he has. And first time back out in a while, had some pitches up early in the game, but worked out a huge jam there in that first inning.
Now, Money, he looked like he was having some issues with his windup. Now, the last inning, I was noticing that he was going from the stretch with no runners on. Why is he doing that?
Well, what it does, it gives him a chance to really simplify his mechanics, because as a pitcher, you need to get to a balance point. It doesn't matter if you wind up or if you pitch from the stretch. You eventually have to get to that one point of balance. And when you do it from the stretch, it's just a lot more simple as far as the mechanics are concerned, and allows you to maybe stay within yourself. I heard you talking earlier about that shoulder not flying open. So from the stretch, it's a lot more compact and a lot easier to accomplish.
Isn't that Dave Island's philosophy?
Well, that's really, everyone has to adopt to that, because that's just something that's essential for a pitcher. Once you start getting out of your mechanics, it's really difficult to get back in. You tell yourself between pitches, hey, keep that shoulder in or don't fly open. But the natural way to go is to try harder, and as a result, you really get more out of your mechanics.
Dave Island always talks about simplifying, keeping it simple. Don't try to overdo things, and by him going to the stretch with nobody on, that helps with that.
Exactly what he's trying to do. He's just trying to keep it simple. And then maybe if he kind of gets back into a rhythm, he may go back to that wind-up, and most starting pitchers would like to pitch in the wind-up as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, Dave said that with Danny coming back, he would not be on a pitch count, but he said he would watch his adrenaline and his arm slot. What are your thoughts on those two?
Well, and see, that's what I saw from Danny Duffy early, especially a lot of those high fastballs. He was really getting out of his mechanics, and almost like he's trying to overthrow the baseball. And again, it's a natural tendency to do that, especially when you haven't been in real game action. And look at the importance of these games now that Danny Duffy's being part of.
Check swing. Will the Royals appeal? They do not. And they say Ramirez was able to check. He is 1 for 2 with a single to left. And he hit a sharp one that glanced off Duffy last time up. Close.
High pitches are really good for an effect. Hitters like them. And then you mess with that eye level and you bring it down there. That stayed up a little.
Kane going back. He will make the nice running catch in right center field. And there's 2 out.
Lorenzo Kane just glides. Great pickup there on that ball.
See Danny Duffy here, he's really good. You see that grip, how he's got that spike curveball that he's throwing off that middle finger on his curveball. He allows him to get the ball to where it's got that downward tilt. He gets that depth that you're looking for. Most of the time the hitter's going to hit it on top of the baseball. Here we're going to see the ball get elevated a little bit. He's going to be under the baseball.
So basically, he's throwing that breaking ball with two fingers.
Exactly.
His thumb and his middle finger.
And he wants those seams to roll off of that middle finger, so he keeps that out in front and allows that ball to go down. You want to get that downward action. A curveball really shouldn't curve, it should drop.
And they had Danny throwing more of the slider earlier in the year, but Dave Island said that slider, that attempt to get to the slider, helped his curveball.
It did. It allowed him to command it a lot better. Because he's got that curveball that's really a nasty curveball. It just falls off the table, but it's a pitch that if the hitter doesn't swing at it, a lot of times it's a ball. It's a good put-away pitch, but when he has that slider, that tighter, that smaller break, it allows him to command it better. He gets ahead with it, and he's able to stay in the strike zone.
Brantley 1 for 2. Rough start, got him at a bases loaded, nobody out situation in the first, and had 2 runners on in the second. So he threw 44 pitches in the first 2 innings, but has been very solid since.
It was really that 3rd inning when he went to the stretch, when he started pitching here in the stretch. So it's something that him and Dave Island are sure discussed, and he went out, and that really allowed him to kind of get back into that groove from a command standpoint.
Just low to Brantley, and now the count 3-1. Really like to get Michael out, and that happened to face Santana with nobody on, leading off the 6th.
Brantley coming in 299 average against lefties. 5 of his 20 homers are off of lefties. So he does a pretty good job of keeping his shoulder in on breaking balls.
Hosmer has it. Will win the race to the bag in a 1-2-3 5th inning.
Nice pitch to contact.
July 4th here at Progressive Field, and this was Mike Moustakas with a home run. The reason we're showing this, because that was the last time the Royals hit a home run in the 6th inning. Because the 6th, of course, is our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Teresa Carlson from Independence. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Teresa, you get $7,100, but if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Teresa will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
Oh,
it's quite a jackpot.
Teresa, we hope this is your inning.
We all do. Here is Haas. Eric drove in the Royals' first run. Carrasco then showed him a lot of that. Great slider. Struck him out swinging in the 3rd. One ball, one strike. I thought it was great when the Royals won yesterday. Joe Goldberg was talking with Eric Hosmer, and he said, hey, what's it like being in this playoff push? And Eric said after the win, we've been thinking about winning the Central the day we got drafted. I love that.
You have to have those dreams, but when you do get in that situation, that's when you tell yourself, hey, I've been working my whole life for this. It's time to just loosen up and relax and seize the moment and make it happen, instead of the other way around going, oh, you know, I'm hoping I can get a hit here. Play loose.
Strike in there.
Ooh, that was low. I agree with Eric.
Guys, it's been so long since the Royals have had the opportunity to be playing for postseason. Obviously 29 years since they have, and I know the first half of my career up through 94, the strike, Royals were always competitive, and it seemed like there was that when that drought started. So you kind of get spoiled early in my career, as every year, although there was only, one team was going to win the East, one team's going to win the West, no wild card then. But when you don't get it and then it's gone for the rest of your career, it's something you really, really miss.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, I never got a chance to play in postseason, but I played in some pennant races, and believe me, I had much more success when I had a talk with myself during batting practice. When I was nervous and uptight, I said, come on, man, relax, it's time to show, man, show what you can do. And when I made that own adjustment by myself, I played better, more loose, more relaxed, and it works. But you have to talk to yourself. You don't need a big rah-rah speech before the game or anything like that. I mean, you can do your own coaching when you're at this level.
And I had a chance to talk with Greg Holland earlier today and ask him what that experience from being in it last year means for these guys this year. I think it means a lot that they experienced it last year.
It grazed the outside corner, and Hosmer strikes out for the 2nd time. That is 6 now for Carrasco.
Those are pitches that are borderline. That one's off the plate. The first curveball was low, looked like to me too. So Haas looked like he didn't get the fair calls. But nothing you can do. Come back and get him next time.
Carrasco is a guy that has really fallen in love with his off-speed pitches, particularly that slider. And I think the slider, if you're going to throw a good, well-executed slider, if you execute it well, very tough to hit. If you hang one, probably one of the easier pitches to hit. So these Royals hitters hopefully will get one that's up in his zone and just kind of spins around.
Yeah, he hung a slider to Omar Infante, who ripped that double and then got to 3rd and scored on the Escobar single to make it 2-0. Billy Butler just took an exceptional breaking ball for strike 1. Butler single to center field in the 1st, flied out to center field, deep center last time up. Almost looks like he's using that fastball just to show them.
Got to show the fastball to make the breaking ball more effective. Guys, this is probably one of the few games going on in Major League Baseball right now where both starting pitchers are pitching exclusively from the stretch.
Staying with success. And Ned Yost knows how important Billy Butler is to this team, and he made some statements, Rex, like he's going to stay with Billy the rest of this week. Cleveland and Chicago.
Why not? The way Billy, when he goes, so do the Royals go with his offense. He gets heated up. He's making some solid contact. He almost got a big hit that last time up.
Chased that one, and it gets way, way back. And Butler will be able to reach first base, even though he struck out on a pitch that missed the strike zone by about 4 feet.
He read that one well.
was guessing, but he's on base.
Left fielder Alex Gordon.
Got a break. Been there.
Let's see if Alex Gordon can take advantage of it. Alex is grounded out to second and flied out to deep left. Stays away from the off-speed pitch. Ball one. Gordon just 1 for 10 against Detroit. And that 8th inning double broke an 0 for 14 slide he'd been in.
Bunny Carrasco, he's pitching from the stretch as well.
Exactly, and I think that's, he had a really nice opportunity to resurrect his season after having 3 starts early in the year. Didn't do well. They put him in the bullpen, and he was very effective pitching in relief. And he's just really carrying that success as a relief pitcher now as a starting pitcher. And hey, if it's not broke, you don't try to fix it.
Gordon to right field, backing up the right fielder. He gets there. Tyler Holt. And back to first base goes Butler.
Looks like he just got it off the end of the bat. Pitch away. Didn't quite get the meat on it. But a good play by Holt. Taking a nice direct route back to the warning track.
Not a fair game. Billy misses one by 3 feet. And he's on first, and Alex is out.
It's amazing how this game is. No one can figure it out. It's a game of baseball.
Yeah, what was it? Mike Schmidt once said, as soon as you think you've got the game of baseball figured out, it will reach up and punch you in the nose.
Humbling profession.
Salvi down in the count, 0-2. He is singled and struck out. Carrasco definitely a strikeout pitcher, averaging 1 per inning, but he has 7 in his almost 6 innings of work thus far. He chases a breaking ball and strikes out 8 now for Carrasco. The Royals, though, lead 2-0 going to the bottom of number 6. celebration event. And by the makers of 5-Hour Energy. Danny Duffy's curveball. He has thrown 5 shutout innings. Got out of wicked jams in the first and second, had a bases loaded situation in the first with nobody out. Got Santana to pop up, struck out Gomes, and got Aviles in a fly to right. So he will open with Santana. Always good to see him up with nobody on. .331 average with 15 home runs in his career against Kansas City. 7 of those big flies have come this year, and another low strike called. Well, Carrasco is getting.
It's going both ways now. It looks to me like Hickox is opening up that strike zone a little bit.
Yeah, gotta like that as a pitcher.
Yeah. Hitters, they make mental notes of that. They say, you know what, guys, and that word gets back in the dugout. That ain't better be hacking anything close.
And HUD for the Tribe, this is 30 games in 30 days. They were on the road. They come back home, and you wonder how tired they might be. They finally end that 30 game and 30-day stretch on Wednesday. Good breaking ball. Just catches the outside corner. 1-2.
Really good sign for Royals getting Duffy back in this rotation. Looks like he's healthy. Kind of starting to get his feel for the strike zone again here as the game moves on. Going down the stretch, going to need this guy. Get one more start.
In that 4-game series against Chicago this weekend. Great fastball at 91, perfectly located, got Santana way out in front, and that is strikeout number 4 for Danny.
Stays on top of this ball, gets a little extra on it. Really just kind of blew it by Santana. Don't see that very often.
He normally doesn't miss fastballs.
Nope.
That are elevated. Lance Barrett is the home plate umpire. Ed Hickox is at first base. And an umpire change before the game. Dana DeMuth got sick. And they brought up Chad Whitson.
He's at third. Crew chief Ron Culpa at second. Breaking ball for strike 1. Yan Gomes has struck out looking and flied out. That was a key at bat in this game. Bases loaded, 1 out. Gomes the batter, and he took a breaking ball away from him, looking for the second out. Ground ball up the middle. Escobar has it. Danny finally let it go. Remember back in that first inning, we thought if he lets it go, Escobar turns a double play.
And as a pitcher, one of the hardest things to do, because you know you got a good chance to catch a ball, but you got a much more sure-handed guy behind you, and Alcides Escobar.
Well, here's our spring question of the day. Which starting pitcher has the best chance to win the American League Cy Young Award? 62% of our fans say Felix Hernandez of Seattle. You can text ABC or D to 432-432. Want to get your thoughts on that, Jeff?
Haven't seen Felix this year, but I know in the past, and his numbers this year are spectacular. Corey Kluber, he's really made a case for himself.
I tell you, there are 3 Royal relievers that are in that conversation. I mean, Kluber, what a incredible turnaround he has made in his career. He was a minor league pitcher with an ERA of 4.5. And traded from San Diego to Cleveland, and all of a sudden he really figured it out.
I know in the last series when the Indians came to Kansas City, we're excited we're going to miss Corey Kluber, and unfortunately it didn't do a lot of good. The other pitchers did a good job, but I'm sure glad we're missing Corey Kluber on this series.
And Chris Sale.
Strike in there. Good point, HUD.
That's right, because Sale's going to make his final start on Wednesday.
Against Detroit. Thank you very much.
Yeah, now even we handled Sale pretty well.
Yeah, we did. 5 runs, 5 innings.
You never know that guy. But how about Danny Duffy? He can get out of this right here. He's driving the bus. No doubt. Missing 3 starts. Got out of that first inning. Thinking, uh-oh, and it looked like that was Danny Duffy of old that first inning.
Yeah.
A little bit high, a little wild, knocked the ball down. There was a double play. You know, it kind of looked like flashbacks. And I'm thinking to myself, uh-oh. But he's rebounded nicely.
When he slows the game down, he doesn't try to do too much. Just kind of let things happen. As a pitcher, it's hard to do. It's hard to dial it back, but he's better when he does.
And he notices that. He said several times this year, he goes, as bad as I was in this game, I would have been out of there last year in the third inning, but I was able to give my team 5-6 innings today, keep them in the game, and they would eventually win it.
And there was one game early in the year against the Baltimore Orioles. He had that spectacular game. I don't know if he topped out above 95 miles an hour, but he had a perfect game through like 6 2/3 inning. He was brilliant.
Escobar has it clip off the end of his glove and go into shallow center field, so Aviles is on with a base hit. First hit since the fourth. Tyler Holt. Seeing I base it just past a diving Eric Hosmer.
Went with the breaking ball again on consecutive pitches. Escobar just a tad playing him the ball, just couldn't quite glove it. Escobar, we've seen him make plays like that. Now he gets that in his glove. He gets to his feet and throws Aviles out.
Looks like his necklace broke. Here is Chisenhall. Lonnie is 0 for 1. He walked his first time up and struck out swinging in the fourth. Dangerous batter. Got the game-winning hit in the suspended game. Came 3 weeks ago. Finally finished that game tonight. You see Brandon Finnegan beginning to warm in the Kansas City pen. Breaking ball misses low.
You guys, we talk about Duffy switching to throwing from the stretch without runners on base. Coming into tonight's game, Danny Duffy was second in the league with opponents batting average against at only 181 behind Felix Hernandez. So there's something to it when he pitches from the stretch. And now that he has a base runner, his odds increase dramatically by pitching from the stretch.
He's fallen behind Chisenhall, 2 balls, no strikes. Lonnie hitting .349 against Kansas City this year, coming into tonight's game. In the air, left side, Alex Gordon sprinting on. It will drop in foul territory. It's a 2-1 count. Alex never gives up. He made that sensational catch early in yesterday's game to help the Royals hold off Detroit by a final of 5-2.
Ball from the left-hander slicing towards the stands. And a ball down the left field line.
That pitch kept it down. Fastball. Chisenhall couldn't do much with it. Danny right back in the count, evening it at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
As you were talking about that catch that Alex made yesterday, to me that was a extreme example of sense of urgency of that game against the Tigers yesterday.
I thought Billy Butler's hit to drive in a run in the first inning, Alex Gordon catch. I mean, the crowd was so into it, and they got the lead. It almost seemed to like lift the team and give them that much more confidence. It's great to see that crowd in 110,000 at the K for that 3-game series against Detroit.
It's awesome. We want to see him again.
Struck him out. Danny Duffy with a shout to the heavens. 6 shutout innings. Good bounce back.
I'd say he's fired up.
All aboard. There's your driver.
Bonnie, thanks for joining us.
leading. And folks, here is your chance to get Royals playoff tickets. Royals playoff tickets are now on sale at ticketsforless.com. There is no risk. 100% money back for all unplayed games. Tickets for Less, your trusted source for the last 10 years, has Royals tickets on sale for all games, including premium lower level seats. Check out ticketsforless.com for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And we take a look at the pitcher comparison on the night. Our Academy sports and outdoors leaders, oh, they are matching each other tonight with one exception. Duffy has the 2 zeros up there. Duffy and Carrasco, two good young pitchers going at it. Infante will ground out. Low throw, but he is out to lead off the inning. But as Monty pointed out, the very rare sight of two starting pitchers pitching almost exclusively out of the stretch, and both have been very effective so far.
Boy, have they ever. And not only that, Joe, but they've been able to maintain their velocity. Now, you always expect good command out of the stretch, but sometimes you lose the velocity. But both have been there, touching 97 at times. Here is Mike Moustakas. He's walked and grounded out. Ball one. Told you about Mike's incredible success at Progressive and against the Indians. He has 6 home runs this year and 4 in this ballpark. He's also driven in 9. Swing and a miss, 1-1. But that ground out, Rex, was awfully important. It may look 0 for 1, but he had a lot of guys in the dugout giving him a high five because he got Infante to third, who would eventually score the Royals' second run. 1-2.
Once again, you have an offense that doesn't hit homers, so you really have to emphasize on doing the little things. Get them on, get them over, get them in, and that was a good example.
Great job, Duff. Missed 3 starts if you include the one where he threw just 1 pitch at Yankee Stadium. Brandon Finnegan, the rookie left-hander out of TCU, is continuing to throw. Looks like he'll get the call in the 7th inning over Herrera. Herrera throwing a lot of pitches the last 2 games. Kelvin wasn't asked to just go 1 inning. He was extended. Brandon will face hitters 8, 9, and 1 in the 7th if he comes on. We expect him to. Check to swing on one that was wide. They say he did not go. You'd love to see him hang a slider like he hung that slider to Infante earlier. He hangs one to a guy like Moustakas. Mike could really drive it.
How about golfing one out? Little breaking
That's
ball.
what I'm talking about.
Down and in.
Well, he pulls it to the right side. It's thrown out for the 2nd out of the 7th. Tonight, don't miss Fox Sports Live as they bring you news and highlights from the Major League Baseball playoff races, plus the latest from college football and the NFL. Watch Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Here in Cleveland, a special game as the Royals still in the hunt. 2 games back of Detroit. Escobar pops it up. The second baseman, Aviles, wants it, takes it. And Carrasco goes 7, gives up 2, and we'll see the rookie Brandon Finnegan when we come back. back in June, the first 2014 draftee to make it to the major leagues, and he has been rock solid.
He certainly has. You know, his pitches are very good. There's no question about that. But these big league hitters that he's facing have all seen stuff like that before. What's good about Finnegan is that he's new and no one's ever seen him before. That, the element of surprise, is going to help him the rest of this season, especially out of the bullpen. Fresh live arm.
Finnegan is our Chevy call to the bullpen. You see his numbers. He's not allowed to run, and the Royals want to keep it at that, and they are bringing in their best defense. That means Dyson takes over in center field, and that will move the center fielder Lorenzo Cain center to right. This is a terrific outfield of Gordon in left, Dyson center, and Cain in right. A lot of speed and also good arms. Finnegan will face the bottom of the order, Chris Jimenez, and then Tyler Holt, and then Michael Bourne.
This kid has very good mound presence. He's not afraid. He's tough. He's got a good fastball, 90 to 95.
Strike one.
He's got a nice slider and some changeups that he'll pull out when he feels like he needs to right-handed batters.
Ground ball short. Escobar has it. One down.
And back in June, when the Royals drafted this young man, I knew that with the fact that Tim Collins had struggled earlier this year, the lefty out of the bullpen, and they went out and got Scott Downs. They really didn't have a left-handed guy. Then I had Bueno too, but not a guy with his kind of stuff. I felt like he had a chance to be in the big leagues this year. And sure enough, as they moved him along in the minors since June, here he is. He was able to pass all the tests at the levels he pitched at, and now he's here in a pennant race, just like they envisioned. However, I would expect them to start him in the future as a starting pitcher, but that's up to them. But right now, it is what it is. He's a fresh arm, good left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen, and something that the rest of the league has not seen.
And in the past, a lot of guys had to prove their worth in the bullpen. I remember with Johan Santana, he was sensational in the bullpen for the Minnesota Twins. Then they got him into the starting rotation, and he won a Cy Young. A little bit high and outside. Holt is 1 for 2, singled off Duffy in the fourth, but was picked off and thrown out at second base when he continued on, thrown out by Hosmer. In now. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's got a 3/4 sidearm delivery, not quite sidearm, but he's 3/4. Decent angle, good mechanics, solid on his follow through. Stays out over that front leg.
Struck him out with the off speed. A beautiful changeup, and had Holt way out in front.
That's a nice pitch that he might use maybe one time to a right-handed batter, but when that one time is perfect. Especially getting ahead of him like that. That's the importance of getting ahead.
Now we'll have the lefty-lefty matchup. Dave Island loves his mound presence. Curveball, strike one. Now he's in the major leagues after just 13 minor league outings. Showed you that outstanding ERA in 15 innings at Wilmington and a 2.25 ERA in 12 AA innings. We first watched him actually from the Kauffman Stadium media room when TCU was first in the regionals and then made it to the College World Series, and he was so impressive. He's down the line. Gordon plays it off the wall. Bourne will have himself a 2-out double.
This is a real nice piece of hitting. That ball's up, elevated, and Bourne didn't try to do too much with it. That's the importance there. He was able to keep that ball fair because he didn't jump out and try to pull it. Let the ball travel deep. Look where he makes contact. He made contact right over the center of the plate. That's how you do it when you go to the opposite field. Same swing as when you pull it, but you just wait a little bit longer until the ball travels deep. Good swing.
Now 2 rookies competing, and Salvi may have noticed something as he's been getting the ball up. Just the last 2 pitches, he was really terrific getting it down and away with his fastball. Salvi gives him a pat on the chest, heads back, but Ramirez is 21, Finnegan is 21. Jose batting .252. You see his numbers with runners in scoring position a little bit higher. Balls, no strikes. This is the man he wants. He does not want to face the veteran Michael Brantley, who's waiting on deck. Three and 0.
This is a test for him. He's been in some situations that weren't as stressful as this one, so it gradually brought him along. Hope he can pass this test.
Salvi sets up down the middle, and Finnegan finds the zone. Ramirez has 1 home run this year. He hit 5 in the minor leagues. Full count.
Nice. Came right back in there with a fastball in the outer half. Good spot for him.
Royals have Jason Frazier up just in case. We told you that Herrera and Davis working back-to-back Saturday and Sunday games. Holland win yesterday. Tough out.
2 fastballs in a row. Maybe he pulls the string on a changeup right here.
Struck out Holt with that great off-speed pitch.
Looks like Jose Ramirez is in swing mode. That's when you can get him on a changeup. Trust Salvi.
Got him. A breaking ball down and in. He strikes him out.
Great call.
And the Finnegan Express keeps rolling along.
Woo! 3-2 made him pitch, and it counted.
Major League Baseball. Brandon Finnegan, what a job. We take a look at our Panera scoreboard. White Sox still hanging on behind Chris Bassett. Blue Jays all over the Mariners. Yankees shutting out the Orioles. Angels and Athletics later tonight. Our Mazda game break takes us to Toronto. All Blue Jays. That is good news for the Royals, including this. Off 2 gloves for Edwin Encarnacion. A little normal, not so normal for him. He'll take it any way he can get it. Do want to tell you guys a little bit more about some news and notes from around the league as we see the first pitch swing there and the foul ball. But some news and notes from around Major League Baseball. You guys already touched on Chris Sale. Royals are going to miss him. That's good news. Big news out of Atlanta. They had not replaced a manager or a GM, fired one I should say, since 1990. Frank Wren dismissed today as the GM. Baseball is going to form a new committee to work on the pace of play. I think we would all agree that that is a good thing. And I do want to point out a couple of other notes. Hud, you were talking about Chris Sale before. He was hoping to get 2 more starts. The White Sox were saying they weren't going to do that, but he is now scheduled to start Wednesday. So the Royals won't see him. Also of note, Roenis Elias, and we saw him with Seattle, really good young talent. He has been shut down for the year. Got some elbow issues, out 4 to 6 weeks. Another key ingredient for the Mariners will not be here for the final push.
Well, that will hurt Seattle, and Seattle's been struggling a little bit offensively, and certainly tonight the pitching staff gave up 12.
All we need now is C.J. Wilson to pull out a heck of a game against Oakland.
You're right, because C.J. Wilson goes tonight and Jeff Samardzija goes for the A's, and there is strike 3 called inside corner, and Carrasco collects his 9th strikeout of the evening.
Good spot down and in.
Boy, that Chris Bassett kid must be pitching a gem as Chicago, as Joel talked about, with a 2-0 lead over the Tigers.
It's holding up in the 8th inning. And, you know, it's another righty that they haven't seen before.
Yep. Here is Lorenzo Cain. And he chases that slider. He's had a very difficult time with that slider tonight. He laid off it in his last at bat and got himself a fastball and almost got a double. But a great catch was made by Tyler Holt in right field to rob Lorenzo of a hit. I really like Lorenzo's attitude, though, Hud. He's an old school guy, a battler. You know, we saw that. Everybody's chronicled that Detroit story. He just wants to win.
I like to see that side of a player.
Ooh, great pitch. Wow.
And he's been pulling out all his best pitches really against Lorenzo all night. Lorenzo almost got him his last at bat. He hit a nice line drive out to right field, and Holt, the right fielder, made a diving catch, robbed him.
Sends it up the middle. Aviles will not have a play, and that is another infield hit for Lorenzo Cain, his 26th this year.
Yep, any ball that's directed up the middle that's not hit hard enough, you know, defender can catch it. You might as well put it in your pocket, unless you're trying for practice. That's good practice, but not going to work against Lorenzo. Too quick, gets a good lean out of the box, and Terry Francona's coming out, take his young ace out.
Look at Lorenzo. He's great. Kansas City leading the American League with 153 infield hits, and that's all about hustle. Carrasco gets a wonderful ovation, and the Royals will see Sepchinski to face the Royals. Eric Hosmer in our Chevy call to the bullpen. strikes out 9, but Danny Duffy outpitched him. 2-0 score. The Royals hoping to add some more as they'll take on Zepchinski. But as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo. It comes from Andrew.
Yeah.
Says the Royals are #1.
I like Andrew. He's pumped. He's happy.
The Royals with 84 victories. They have brought a lot of smiles to fans in the Midwest. And here's Zepchinski. 2.8 ERA, even lower lately. Last 21 games is not allowed an earned run. And lefties have had a real difficult time against him. They're batting just .175 and have struck out 30 times against Mark.
And he's not overpowering, but he has really good movement. As Wade Davis looks like he's coming in.
He's pitched the last 2, but his pitch efficiency has been great. 3 up, 3 down on Saturday. 3 up, 3 down yesterday. Hosmer drove in the first run with a RBI single. Chases that breaking ball.
Yep, that's deceptive. That's that curve he's got. 87 and 92. He likes to sink his fastball, but that side-winded curveball. You asked me earlier, why is it so hard? It's because of that angle and the fact that left-handed hitters don't see as many lefties as they do righties. It's easier to hit the ball coming in than going away.
Kane does not go, and the pitch is a breaking ball. And I would think that Kane might be going, Hud, because Zepchinski more inclined to throw that curve.
That's a good pitch to run on. If he can get a jump.
Kane does go, and the pitch fouled off. Time he came in with the fastball.
Yep, after a lefty breaks a couple of big sliders off, he always has to use that fastball to keep him honest, and keep him off that breaking ball. And usually when they throw it, it's always on the inner half. But they make mistakes. That's what you wait for. Lorenzo got a great jump.
Zepchinski, a veteran, 28 years old, out of Oak Lawn, Illinois, traded from St. Louis to Cleveland last July 2013. Good read by Kane, like he was about ready to break and realized that Mark was going to first.
It's that right leg. Right leg from the lefty. He lifts it up and keeps it even with that plane off the side of the rubber, but when he goes home, he curls it in more. You can definitely see it.
Hosmer swings and misses at the breaking ball and strikes out. And Francona will mix and match. He wants a right-hander to face Billy Butler. His right-hander's hitting .343 off Zepchinski. C.C. Lee is coming out of the Cleveland bullpen. brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. We come to you from Cleveland, Ohio, where the Royals hold a 2-0 lead over the Tribe. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Royals Baseball Corporation and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be
disseminated
without the express written consent of the Royals. Small crowd on hand, even though the Tribe in the race. They started the night at 81-74, won the suspended games. They're now 82-74, and CC Lee facing Billy Butler, who takes ball 1. Right-handers have hit 280 off CC Lee. He's been much better lately. Last 21 games, a 2.3 earned run average.
He's got a pretty good fastball. Low to mid-90s, slider and a split finger.
Let's see if Lorenzo goes. He does not, and Billy takes a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, that's firm. Out of that almost sidearm delivery. Short arms the ball, gets it in there, has a little bit of two-seam run to it. Coming into the righty. Billy just took a nice pitch down the middle. Keon Gomes, you see him, CC right here. Yeah, that's about sidearm. Gomes said, don't throw another one of those. Billy's saying, throw me it. The same one. Here comes the breaker.
Time called. Well, if they're going with the breaking ball, this would be a good pitch to go on. And if CC Lee lifts that leg like he usually does, he'd be easier to steal on. I haven't seen a slide step from him. Lorenzo did not go, and it's a 2-1 count. Ned may want ability to hit Lorenzo on rather than he does send him, and there will be no throw, and that will be stolen base number 27 for Kane.
Yeah, Kane measured him up. That's always good to wait a few pitches so you can see the move, and also give Rusty Kuntz, with a stopwatch in his hand over there at first base coach, gives him a chance to be able to get his time. Anything over 1.3 seconds from the time the pitcher lets go of the ball or starts his windup, gets it home, you got a good jump, you can steal.
He fouls his pitch back. Now it's a full count, 3-2.
You can steal a base if he's 1-2 or under, but it just makes it a lot tougher to get down there. You got to have a good jump, and if the catcher's got a good throw, he'll get you.
Billy had 2 hits yesterday, his first multi-hit game since August 28th. Love to double that up tonight. Runner goes, pitch is swung on, hit high in the air, but backing up the right fielder Holt to make the catch, and that will end the Royal threat in the 8th. We'll see Wade Davis when we come back. of the game because of that terrific pitch he threw Jose Ramirez to strike him out to end the 7th inning. And this is a wonderful job by Alan DeBrenia, our phantom cam operator. Seeing that ball come out and then that break.
Yeah, that's a beauty. Takes long to get to the plate, doesn't it?
It sure does.
That camera way out in front.
It's a beautiful thing. Way to go, Alan. And there's that cool phantom camera. It slows it down so much, and now it'll be Wade Davis, and he has to face the heart of the lineup. That means Michael Brantley, Carlos Santana, and Yan Gomes, the 3 hottest hitters in the Cleveland lineup. Brantley hitting .442 his last 10. Santana has driven in 21 runs his last 24. Gomes batting .328 the last 2 months of the season. First pitch, ball 1. I told you Davis has gone back-to-back games, a 1-2-3 9th inning on Saturday and a 1-2-3 8th inning on Sunday.
There's a little bit of success there off of Davis.
I wondered though, Hud, if that was when Davis was a starter.
Could have been those numbers. Because then too many guys hit him this year. Davis, good fastball, mid to upper 90s, cuts it at about 93 sometimes, 94, and then he's got an overhead curve with really good command and a nice arcing break to it.
Wade has missed in the first 3 pitches. That's not like him. He usually has incredible control. 22 walks this year against 103 strikeouts, and his next strikeout will be a new Royal single season record, currently tied with Holland and York. Brantley taking all the way. Davis. Davis yesterday against the Tigers, a 1-2-3 8th inning with a pair of strikeouts.
Yeah, but that shadow there, he was almost unhittable. Those guys were swinging at a lot of air. And speaking of that, those fans were raising the roof at the K.
All right. Now let's go to Joel.
Here's a final, guys, as the White Sox have shut out the Detroit Tigers 2-0, proving once again you never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. First place Tigers shut down by rookie Chris Bassett, who gets his first big league win. 7 2/3, 6 hits, no runs. Jake Petrichka, the final 4 outs for the save.
So Davis, instead of fastball, Joe, goes to his curve and gets it across for strike 1. So if the Royals can win this game, they can pull to within 1 game of first place in the American League Central. Kansas City Pen yesterday of Pereira, Davis, and Holland. 3 2/3 innings of shutout baseball with 5 strikeouts. In the dirt. The Royal right-hander.
Get that ball away from him.
Brantley is indeed a threat to go. He has 22 stolen bases this year, and he has only been caught 1 time. I don't know if could send him with Santana up with 27 home runs.
They're taking a chance if they do. Santana's the one that really concentrate on.
In the air, center field. Dyson there, 1 out. Gerard, one of the fastest center fielders in the game, and Davis challenged Santana. Seattle has lost. The Tigers have lost. Oakland about ready to start their game with the Angels. Here is Yan Gomes, who's 2 for 4 with a home run against Wade. Davis has not allowed a big fly this year. Gomes 0 for 3. Ball 1.
Another guy here likes the ball middle in.
Davis allowed a run in the 8th inning on Wednesday versus Chicago, resulting in the first time this year that opponents have scored in back-to-back outings. Good fastball at 96. Gomes a little late
with a slight uppercut swing.
He's hit into 13 double plays, 92 chances.
Wade Davis has induced 3 this year. That would be perfect if that happened.
He's not commanding his fastball as well as he normally does, and you can see that motion, like stay on top.
Yep, drive down. He knows.
Inside corner at 97.
Good spot down. Gomes thought that ball was going to be inside. It was, but he thought it'd be off the plate. Strike him out, throw him out.
Brantley does go. There's the strike him out, but Brantley does steal second base. Meantime, Wade Davis has just set the Royals' single season strikeout record with his 104th, breaking the mark set by Jim York and Greg Holland. They're tied with him.
Yep, congratulations on that strikeout. Puts him in a nice category. Now, throw was just a little short. It would have taken a ball right on the bag to get Brantley. Got a good jump. He had plenty of opportunities to measure Davis up.
So now Terry Francona will counter and go with Jason Kipnis, who is his regular second baseman. Kipnis this year only batting .243, and this is just his second pinch hit. He is 0 for 1 in that role. Very dangerous hitter. Strike one.
That's a jelly leg.
Kipnis thought it was low.
Ooh, man, you better off taking that because you can't hit it.
It had severe depth. I mean,
you might could foul that ball off, but there's no way you can square it.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Royals scored their 2 runs, one in the first on a single by Hosmer, one in the 5th on a single by Escobar that scored Infante. It's held up thus far. Fouled off. 1-2.
They're going to talk about what pitch they want to throw. And this is good, too, to come out because with the runner at second base, you never know if he's relaying signs or location or anything like that. So go ahead and big opportunity, big pitch here to try to strike him out. Talk about it.
Would you throw that breaking ball in the dirt? That might be what Salvi was talking about. Make sure you keep it down, and I'll block it for you.
Yeah, certainly. That hammer looks tough tonight. And with 2 strikes, Kipnis, he might feel like he's got a swing at it.
Ball stays high.
Didn't quite get it down like he wanted it.
Curveball to Escobar. That'll do it, and Wade Davis with a shutout 8th inning, and the Royals take a 2-0 lead in Cleveland to the 9th inning.
Hammer looked good. Waiter, check please.
For Kansas City in the 9th inning. They'd love to get some insurance runs to give to Greg Holland in the 9th. Justin Sellers will come and take over at second base. Rex told you that Jason Kipnis has been having some leg issues, so they're staying away from him in the field. And Zach McAllister, who used to be a starting pitcher, struggled at the beginning of the year in that role, but has been successful in relief. Even though his 5.58 ERA, you go, wow, we're going to get to him. He's been much better in relief, Hud.
He has been. He's got a good fastball. 87 to 93. He cuts that fastball, curveball, and the changeup. But he's probably now to the bullpen just really relying on his couple of pitches. That fastball, that cutter, maybe a few curveballs.
Last 3 games he's gone 8 1/3 innings, so mainly in middle relief, giving up 2 earned runs. He'll face Gordon, Perez, and Infante in the 9th. Strike 1. Alex 0 for 3. Does have a home run off of the Cleveland right-hander.
Now we're seeing some 95s and 96. That's just because he's a bullpen guy now. Kind of like Wade Davis. When he was a starting pitcher, he would go 87 and 93, but now he's conserved, and he's going all out. He's letting it out just like Wade Davis does now. McAllister can be a really effective back end of a bullpen type of pitcher. That type of velocity.
Big, strong guy at 6'6", 240. Good down angle. Cody Allen is their closer. Alex checked his swing. They appeal. They say he went, and that is a strikeout.
Now advance, Salvador Perez.
2 fastballs, and then he got him to swing at that curveball, and it looked like he checked his swing to me. I have to sit down. Fastballs early. Look for him. Jump on it.
Salvi does swing early and fouls it off, strike one. Perez with a single his first time up, struck out his last 2 at bats against Carrasco. And we had a great duel early in this game between Carlos Carrasco and Danny Duffy. Duffy really struggled early trying to find his command, but his stuff was so good that Cleveland couldn't touch him, even though he loaded the bases with nobody out in the first inning, but the Tribe could not score. And they stranded 6 runners the first 3 games, and Duffy then pretty much shut him down the next 3.
Duffy went from the stretch, helped him eliminate, simplifying his mechanics, and eliminate some of the extra movement you get when you go from the windup.
Salvador tries to send a flare to center field, but Ramirez is able to run it down for out number 2.
Got in on him. Salvi, he's strong enough that he can muscle that ball out there, but just not in the right direction over second base now. Good play.
Royals with 2 runs on 7 hits. Tribe with no runs on 7 hits. And Greg Holland will face the bottom of the order. Both teams have a lot of weapons on their bench, but if Holland does his job, he won't have to face Brantley or Santana. Infante drops one to right field, and Omar on base for the second time. He is 2 for 4.
Third baseman, Mike Moustakas.
Look fastball early in the count.
Ball 1. Ball 2. Rex, the Royals have a much better record on the road than they do at home, even though they have great crowd support. I mean, 110,000 on the 3 games against the Tigers. But do you think the guys press a little bit at home? They just seem to play with a little more freedom on the road.
Some of the numbers is hard to explain. They play the same game now. This past homestand, it looked like they were a little bit jittery out there on defense. Now that could be true, but I don't know. Some
10 errors on that homestand, way too much. This defense is too good.
Yeah, you might have been right on that last homestand, but you know, some numbers is hard to explain why. They try to be as consistent as possible every day, no matter where they are. But it just ends up being good that they can, especially finish this year on the road, keep their winning ways. See if Holland can shut them down.
Royals have the 5th best road record in major leagues at 42 and 32. They're going for their 43rd win as Greg Holland, one of the best closers in the game, comes out of that Royals pen.
Hammer time.
to win regardless of what happened the day before. That's something we had to learn over the last few years. You know, it'd be awesome to think about winning, getting into the playoffs, not only for us as a team, but Kansas City as a city. You know, they've been behind us for a long time, but we don't really try to think about that. Go about it day in and day out, try to win today, and go out there and roll it out there.
That's right. Go out there, roll it out there at the yard. Yard's another word for ballpark players use, but right now, just get her done. Holland can do that, and it'd be a huge win if they can get this under their belt.
Ground ball, Hosmer, Holland to cover. One pitch, one out. Love that. When we take a look at the American League's saves leaders, Greg Holland right at the top, along with Fernando Rodney of Seattle has 46. Greg had 47 last year to set a new Royal record. 43 this year, despite missing a little bit of time. He has also 377 career strikeouts, too shy of tying Steve Farr for second all time by a Royals reliever. And of course, our great teammate Jeff Montgomery is first with 720. Pinch hitter will be J.B. Shuck. Last time we saw him, he was with the Angels, but designated for assignment, picked up his good numbers against Kansas City. Now this year only hitting 100 against lefties and 155 against right-handers, but he's over 300 in his career against KC pitching. There's a strike, 1-1.
He's just 1 for 11 as a pinch hitter for the Angels and Cleveland.
He was mainly known for his defense. Great highlight catches with the Angels.
Fastball slider. That slider with the arm angle that Holland has a great downward movement to it, just like that.
Ooh.
Hard to lay off.
Hey, how about Holland in the shadows yesterday? Do you think they had a chance in Detroit?
None. 2 chances, slim and none.
423. Beg your pardon, I said over 300. I knew that. I didn't know it was 423. Salvi wants a new baseball. It's been a little quiet lately. Danny Duffy, 6 outstanding innings, coming back from that tightness in his left shoulder. The bullpen of Finnegan and Davis, excellent, and now Holland trying to finish the job. How about that? Man, that ball was in the dirt, and Chuck could not read it. Swings and misses. Strikes out for out number 2.
Ooh, man. That was filthy. I'm going to tell you what. That ball started up above his belt. Chuck, it tied him in a knot. He didn't know what to do.
He has one of the best sliders I've ever seen.
Oh, I just locked him up.
David Murphy is now the pinch hitter. He takes ball 1 inside. The veteran Murphy, a solid pinch hitter throughout his career. This year he is 4 for 9 coming off the bench.
And he's not a guy that goes up there and tries to yank him out of the park. He's going to hit that ball to the opposite field if he can.
Pulls this one, but how many times have you seen a right-handed pitcher go away from Murphy and he'll just slice it down the left field line for a double?
Yeah, a lot, but not tonight.
He has never gotten a hit against Holland. A little late with that fastball. Would you come back with it?
Why not? Keep it away or go with the slider. 2 strikes. Sometimes hitters, they think it's a fastball. They can't pick up the rotation. And they commit.
Shuck could not pick up the rotation at all and swung and missed. On the ground, Infante has it. The Royals win their 85th game of the year and pull within 1 game of first place in the American League Central. Hosmer and Escobar had the big hits.
Absolutely, but that pitching staff, they drove the bus tonight. No question about it. Great job by Duffy, stepping in after missing 3 starts, saying, you know what, I won't let you down, fellas. 1 game closer.
Well, that was a terrific win for Kansas City. They lost the suspended game when they're trailing 4-2 and lost 4-3, but they win the regular game 2-0. Danny Duffy, great job tonight. We'll be right back.